Picture this. You wake up in the early morning hours, before the sun has risen, before the world stirs from its sleep. Outside, everything is quiet. The air is crisp, cool, and still. It's a rare moment in life when time seems to pause, offering you a chance to breathe deeply and listen closely. This is the moment Rumi speaks of when he says, "The breeze at dawn has secrets to tell you. Don't go back to sleep." These words aren't just poetic, they're an invitation. An invitation to awaken, not just physically, but inside your heart, your soul. To open yourself up to something greater than the noise and distractions that fill your day. Why does Rumi ask us not to go back to sleep? Because there's a truth waiting to be heard in the stillness, a wisdom that can only be found in silence. When the world is asleep, the chatter stops, the endless buzz of notifications, the hum of city life, the demands of work and social obligations. And in that sacred silence, you can begin to hear yourself. Not the surface self who scrolls mindlessly through feeds or rushes from task to task, but the deeper self, the part of you that dreams, that aches, that remembers who you were before you were told who to be. This self lives beneath your name, beneath the roles you play and the habits you carry. It is patient, always waiting for you to turn your attention inward. But turning inward is hard. We live in a world that teaches us to keep busy, to seek distractions, to measure our worth by productivity and approval. Sitting alone with your thoughts can feel uncomfortable or even frightening. What if you discover things you don't want to face? What if the silence reveals your loneliness, your fears, or your pain? Rumi didn't romanticize solitude as an escape from life. He saw it as a sacred space, a retreat. Yes, but a retreat into life itself. He wrote, "A little while alone in your room will prove more valuable than anything else that could ever be given you." This isn't about shutting out the world or running away from problems. It's about creating a space where your soul can breathe, where your true self can rise beneath the noise and the expectations. In this quiet space, you begin to notice things you may have ignored. The ache beneath your smile, the restless thoughts that circle like birds trapped in a cage, the parts of you that never found language or understanding. Without an audience, without anyone to impress or please, your true self begins to stir. It's not the self shaped by past pain or conditioned reactions, but the deep, unchanging presence beneath it, all the part of you that has always been here at first. The silence may feel deafening. Your mind may race, trying to escape the stillness by jumping from one thought to another. You might feel restless or anxious, as if you're sitting with a storm you don't know how to calm. This is natural. We are not used to witnessing ourselves. without distraction. We often run from pain, from truth, from the vast unknown of our own hearts. But if you stay, if you remain seated in that fire of silence, something starts to soften. The noise inside begins to settle. The armor you wear, your defenses, your stories, your fears, begins to loosen. Slowly, what remains is raw, real, and utterly human. And in that rawness, something amazing happens. You are no longer fragmented. You are whole. Solitude, then, is not about isolating yourself from life. It's about reconnecting with your own essence, with the truth that lives inside you. Because how can you truly meet another person if you have never met yourself? How can you love honestly if you have not stood in front of your own reflection and faced the parts of yourself you have long disowned? In solitude, you begin to integrate. You start to forgive not just others, but yourself. You begin to remember you are not your wounds, your past, your failures. You are the one who sees them, all the eternal witness that was here before. The pain and will be here after the healing. This awareness is subtle. It does not shout or demand attention. It waits quietly for your surrender, and surrender is the key. When you finally stop fighting, when you no longer resist your own company, this awareness rises within you like a gentle sunrise over an ancient sea. It expands quietly, patiently. This presence is not about achieving something new, about uncovering what has always been there. Beneath the noise you mistook for life, there is a reason every great mystic, every spiritual seeker has wandered into the desert, the forest, or the cave. They didn't run from the world. They ran toward truth, toward the peeling away of illusions that cover the face of reality, toward the unmasking of what is real beneath appearances. Solitude is not emptiness. It is fullness, fullness of insight, clarity, and communion with the deepest parts of yourself. It is the place where God, or the sacred, speaks not in thunderous roars, but in the stillness that holds everything in this sacred quiet. You don't hear your soul as a voice, but as a knowing of presence that doesn't need to explain itself. It just is, and for the first time, you feel being is enough. You don't need to do, prove, or perform. You are allowed to simply exist in that existence itself is holy. But don't mistake solitude for always gentle. As you go deeper, you will meet shadows, memories you buried, emotions you numbed, desires you denied. Many turn away at this point. They say, "I am too broken," or "I can't handle this much feeling." But these moments are the necessary, growing pains of returning to yourself. Healing isn't always light. Sometimes it is a reckoning, a dismantling of everything false so that what is real may rise. If you can stay, if you can resist running when your inner world trembles, then you will find something extraordinary beneath the rubble. A silence, not empty, but infinite. A space, not hollow, but sacred. A presence, vast, ancient, and alive. This is the threshold of the void. The void is not a place you fall into, and when you do, language fails, intellect surrenders. This is no longer the realm of the self you thought you were. It is the beginning of the great undoing, the moment when you stop seeking answers and start dissolving into the question itself. The void prepares you. It clears the noise. It strips the masks. It brings you to the edge of your own being. At that edge, there is nothing left to cling to. No belief, no name, no identity. Only the vast, unnameable mystery we call the void. Can you stand still before that abyss? Can you let go of the need to define, control, and understand? Can you trust that within the silence, something greater waits? This is the invitation Rumi offers. The call to listen deeply, not just with your ears, but with your entire being. To hear what the breeze at dawn carries. To awaken fully, not just to a new day, but to your true self. Imagine stepping out of a long night when darkness seemed endless into the soft, warming light of dawn. But this light isn't just outside, it's rising from deep within your own soul. After journeying through silence, shadows, and the void, you awaken to a truth you've always carried inside. That beneath all the noise, fear, and confusion, there is a presence, quiet, steady, and unshakable. This awakening is not a one-time event or a final destination. It is an ongoing journey, a slow unfolding, like the petals of a flower opening to the sun. When you return from this inner journey, you come back transformed. You are no longer fragmented by the demands of life or the roles you played. Instead, you are whole. Wholeness is not about perfection or having all the answers. It is about embracing all parts of yourself, the light and the dark, the joy and the pain, the successes and the failures. It is about accepting yourself with kindness and courage. Even the parts you once tried to hide or deny. This integration creates a new kind of strength, the strength of presence. Unlike the kind of strength that pushes or forces, this strength is calm, grounded, and steady. It is the strength to be truly yourself in the world, without masks or pretense. It is the courage to show up fully, even when life is uncertain or difficult. It is the power to live authentically, rooted in the deep knowing that you are enough, just as you are. Living with presence means you no longer live to impress or please others. You no longer seek approval or validation outside yourself because you have found it within. You meet each day with openness and honesty. You face your fears without running, your joys without clinging. You love fully not because you need something in return, but because love flows naturally from your heart. You find beauty in simple moments, the warmth of the morning sun, the laughter of a child, the quiet peace of a sunset. This way of living brings a profound peace that doesn't depend on circumstances. It's a peace that stands firm through storms and challenges because it is anchored in something eternal inside you. It is a peace that invites compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. You learn to treat yourself with gentleness and understanding, recognizing that you are human and imperfect. Just like everyone else, Rumi's wisdom reminds us that this awakening is never complete. It is a lifelong path. Each day offers new opportunities to grow, to face fears, to let go of old patterns, and to deepen your connection with your true self. This is a journey of trusting yourself, trusting life, and trusting the unfolding process, even when it is unclear or painful. As you live from this place of presence, your life begins to change in ways both subtle and profound. You stop chasing after fleeting pleasures or external success because you realize that true happiness cannot be found outside it, lives inside you. You start to notice the little things that bring joy and meaning. You appreciate a kind word, a quiet walk, a moment of stillness. You find gratitude for the ordinary moments that make up life. Your presence becomes a light in the world, not because you try to shine, but because you are genuine and true. People around you feel it. They sense your calm, your kindness, your authenticity. Your presence touches others deeply, inspiring them to be more themselves. You become a source of healing and hope simply by being who you are. This transformation is the gift of solitude and silence. It is the sacred path that Rumi invites us to walk, a path that leads us home to ourselves. When we lean into the quiet before dawn, when we embrace the stillness within, our souls begin to speak their deepest truths. These truths change us in ways nothing else can. They open the door to a life filled with presence, meaning, and love that flows freely from within us to the world. So, hear Rumi's call as an invitation, not just to listen, but to awaken, to come alive to the fullness of who you are, to live awake, alive, and free. Because when you do, you discover a life beyond distractions and fears, a life rich with connection, peace, and boundless possibility. This is not just the dream of poets, it is the real, living experience of anyone brave enough to listen to the breeze at dawn and follow where it leads. As you step deeper into this inner landscape of silence and solitude, you will inevitably encounter something unexpected and often unsettling: the void. The void is not an absence or emptiness as we usually think of it, but rather a vast living space where all distractions and masks dissolve. It's the place where your mind's endless chatter falls away, where you can no longer hide behind your stories, your ambitions, or your identities. And this can be terrifying, because at first the void feels like loss. It feels like falling into a deep, endless nothingness without any support or certainty. Many people fear this experience. It can feel like losing control, losing yourself. The mind panics. The ego resists. It wants to label, to run, to hold onto something familiar. But there is nowhere to run in the void. There is only the invitation to stay, to surrender, to allow the old layers of your self-concept to be stripped away. This is not punishment or a test. It's a natural part of the journey inward. Just as night follows sunset, the void arrives as the necessary passage between the outer world of distraction and the inner world of presence. Rumi, who walked this path centuries ago, understood this deeply. He did not fear the void. He lived in it. He danced with it. He whispered, "Why are you so afraid of silence? Silence is the root of everything." But this silence is not calm or comfortable at first. It trembles and shakes you. It disrupts. You might feel lost, disoriented, unsure who you are without your usual labels and roles. This is the great undoing, the dismantling of everything you thought defined you. But underneath this dismantling, beneath the noise and false identity, something extraordinary awaits. A silence that is not empty but infinite. A space that is not hollow but sacred. A presence that is ancient and alive, waiting patiently for you to stop running and to simply be. This presence is not about doing or becoming. It is about allowing yourself to exist exactly as you are, stripped bare of pretense. To reach this place, you must have courage. Courage to face your shadows, those parts of yourself you buried deep inside. The memories you tried to forget, the pain you numbed, the desires you denied. Many turn away when they meet these shadows. They say, "I can't handle this," or "I am too broken." But these shadows are the raw material of healing. The darkness is part of the light. Healing is not always a bright, happy experience. Sometimes it's a reckoning. It's a deep, necessary darkness that tears down what is false so that what is real can emerge. The pain you feel in this space is not to punish you. but to free you. Free you from the stories, fears, and illusions that keep you trapped. It is the fire that burns away the debris, leaving the gold beneath. If you stay in this process, if you resist the urge to run when the inner world shakes, you will find something precious beneath the rubble. A silence that is not a void of loneliness, but a fullness of presence. A sacred space where you meet the eternal witness within you, the part that has always been here. Before the pain and before the healing, this witness is not personal or attached to your story. It is the awareness that sees all things clearly, without judgment or fear. It is a calm center amid the storm of emotions and thoughts. In this awareness, you find peace, not because life becomes easier, but because you learn to stand steady through all things. The void prepares you for this peace. It clears away distractions and false comforts, bringing you face to face with your true nature. And in this encounter, something remarkable happens. You realize that all your searching for happiness, love, or fulfillment outside yourself was searching for something already within. This moment of realization is like a quiet sunrise inside your being, a gentle unfolding of understanding. You see that your worth was never tied to success, approval, or external validation. It was always there, buried beneath the noise you clung to out of fear. This awareness changes everything. It frees you from the need to perform, to prove, or to be anyone other than who you truly are. And with this freedom comes a new way of living. You begin to show up in the world with honesty and compassion. You meet others not from neediness or fear, but from fullness and connection. Rumi's wisdom guides us here. The spiritual path is not about escaping life, but embracing it fully. Joy, pain, love, loss, all of it. The void is not the end, but the beginning of real life. It's the passage from illusion to truth, from fragmentation to wholeness. In this space, the journey inward continues. You keep shedding old layers, learning to trust the silence and opening to the vastness of your being. You come to understand that presence, the simple act of being awake and aware's the greatest gift. So, as you face the void, remember, this is not a place to fear, but a sacred gateway. It's where transformation happens. It's the birthplace of a new you, one grounded in deep peace and unshakable presence.